Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome to the Concordia softball field for Game 2 of today's doubleheader between the Cougars and the Vikings. Maddie Tan leading off for the Vikings, and she'll take that first pitch high in the zone for a ball. Morgan Hofek on the mound to start off Game 2 for the Cougars. Tan, a pair of hits in Game 1 of the doubleheader, and she'll take that on the edge of the zone for strike one. One count on Tan. And Tan fouls that right back to the backstop, makes it a 1-2 count. One-two count on Tan. Yeah. And here's 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Tan goes down on strikes. And it's a first batter and the first out for Hofek. And that brings up to the plate Bella Fraworth. Fraworth in Game 1 today drew a pair of walks, no hits. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's high and in for ball 2. Two-0 count on Fraworth. And Fraworth lifts that to left field. On the move and dropping it is Jess Gang. That gets to the wall. Fraworth into second on the error. That's the first base runner of the day for North Park. Kayla Lorenz up to the plate now with a runner on second for the Vikings. And Lorenz bounces that up the middle. Over to first for out number 1. Santos out number 2. Santos Fields tosses over to first base. And that's 2 down. So with a runner on third and 2 outs, up to the plate comes Catherine Keene. And Keene fouls that first pitch off over the home base dugout. 0-1 count on Keene. Hofek deals. That's low for ball 1. One count now. And she'll take that high and out. Ball 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And Keene grounds out over to short. Santos over to first. Out number 3. Cougars survive the error. North Park leaves a runner stranded on third, and that does it for the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the first. Cougars coming up to bat for the first time in game number 2. Cougars coming up to bat for the first time in game number 2. Leading off for CUC is Emily Garcia, hitting as a designated player. Garcia came into the day batting .421, and she'll take that first pitch high for a ball.
Leading off for the Cougars, number 22, the DP, Emily Garcia.
And Garcia gets tagged by that pitch, so she'll head to first on the hit by pitch to the Cougars. One batter, they already have a man on.
Now batting for the Cougars, left fielder number 12, Jess Gang.
Jess Gang stepping up to the plate for Concordia Chicago. Gang came in the day batting .395, and she'll take that first pitch low and in for ball 1. On the mound for North Park is Maya Lafnier. And Gang takes a second pitch high, ball 2. Lafnier yet to hit the zone on her through her first 4 pitches of the day. There's a 2-0 pitch. High again for ball 3. Lafnier in danger of putting 2 men on, no outs. Here's a 3-0 pitch, and she'll pump that on the inside edge for strike 1. Gang in game number 1 today had one of the Cougars' only 2 hits. And she'll get on base for their first at-bat today, drawing a 5-pitch walk. And the Cougars, they struggled to get base hits in that first game against North Park. Walks were a different story. Drew 7 walks, unable to turn any of them into runs in that 6-0 loss to North Park. But already 2 men on, no outs for the Cougars. Maya Lorenas up to the plate for Concordia Chicago. First pitch goes for a ball. Here's the 1-0. That one high again for ball 2. Lafnier is struggling to find the zone early on in this game. And there's going to be your first time out call. The catcher, Katie Patton, headed out to the mound to have a quick chat with Lafnier, try and get her focus back, try and find the zone a little better, just a little mental reset after a tough start to the game so far. Patton returns to home plate. Lorena steps back up to the bag. 2-0 count on Lorena. Lafnier winds up, deals, and sends it high for ball 3. Makes it the 10th pitch of the day for Lafnier. 9 of those are balls. The Cougars yet to swing the bat, and they already have 2 men on. Make that ball 4, a 4-pitch walk for Lafnier. And through 11 pitches, the Cougars have loaded the bases with no outs on a hit by pitch and 2 walks.
Third baseman number 10, Joe Anderson.
Joe Anderson now coming up to the plate for Concordia Chicago. Anderson came in the day batting .333. And Lafnier able to find the zone on that pitch. A first pitch strike makes it 0-1 on Anderson. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss for Anderson. And Lafnier getting herself ahead in the count, which is a much-needed count she needs to get ahead in. Cougars with the bases loaded and no outs in the bottom of the first. Lafnier winds up and deals. And that's high for ball 1. Good take from Anderson. Here's the 1-2. And Anderson pops that down the first baseline, and it drops. 1 run will score. Everyone else advances a bag, and the Cougars jump out first. It's 1-0 Concordia Chicago on the bloop hit for Joe Anderson.
Now batting shortstop number 15, Arissa Santos.
Arissa Santos now coming up to the plate for the Cougars. Still bases loaded, no outs for Concordia, and they've already got a 1-run lead. Lafnier deals and catches the zone for another first pitch strike. And the Cougars, only 2 hits in game 1 today, already have one. Already have more runs than they had in that first game as well. As Lafnier deals, and that's grounded over to short, and it's a botched fielding error for Kayla Lorenz. Lorenz had the spot, had the timing, but misplaced the glove, goes off her shin. And everyone advances a base. It's another run scored for the Cougars. Bases loaded, no outs. 2-0 lead for the Cougars. Alyssa Campos up to the plate now for Concordia. Lafnier deals inside and high for ball 1. 1-0 count on Campos. Lorenas at third, Anderson at second, Santos at first. Lafnier deals, catches the inside corner for strike 1. One pitch to Campos, who drives that into center field. Under it is Sapolu for out number 1. Anderson able to get back to second in time, but the sac fly drives in. Lorenas Cougars first out of the day, but they're out to a 3-0 lead. Concordia jumping out early and often in game 2. So with a runners on first and second and 1 out, Mykyler Morris up to the plate. And Morris takes that pitch high for ball 1. One-0 count on Morris. And that pitch catches the zone for a strike. One count on Morris. Runners at first and second. Lafnier deals. Morris lifts that into center field. Sapolu tracking to the wall. Makes the play. Anderson tags up in safely to third. Santos retreats to first. And the fly out advances the runner to third. So 2 outs and runners at the corners for Emily Lucero.
Now batting for the Cougars, catcher number 9, Emmy Lucero.
Lucero coming into this game batting .357 on the year. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Lafnier gets the call, winds up, deals. That's high for ball 1. And Lafnier, after starting off the day 10 pitches, the first 10 pitches being 9 of them being balls, she started to find the zone a lot more. 24 pitches, only 14 of them balls, 10 of those strikes, and she makes another one there, tagging the zone for a 1-1 count on Lucero. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Lucero grounds that to short. Lorenz charges over to first for out number 3. That gets Lafnier out of the inning, but the Cougars already up to a 3-0 lead over North Park. A series of walks, hits, and errors, and Concordia's already leading in game 2 of today's doubleheader. We'll be back for the top of the second. Sydney Snyder coming up to the plate for North Park right after this. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Sydney Snyder leading off the top of the second for North Park. North Park stranded a base runner at third. Still no runs for North Park. Snyder came into the day hitting .326. And she takes that first pitch outside of the zone for ball one. Hofek got through the first inning in just 9 pitches. And that makes her 10th of the day. As she winds and deals. And that's lined into right field for a base hit. Morris, able to field it after bobbling it the first time. Gets it in to hold Snyder at first. But it's a single and the first base hit of the day for North Park. And the Vikings have a man on with no outs in the top of the second. Kaylee Pereira up to the plate now for the Vikings. Pereira in game number 1 today. 1 hit, 1 RBI for the left fielder. As Hofek deals that inside for ball 1. One-oh count on Pereira. Snyder over at first. Pereira shows bunt and gets tagged for the swing. Makes it a 1-1 count. One ball, 1 strike. Hofek winds up and deals. Swing and a miss. Pereira swinging at something down low and in. Makes it a 1-2 count. Hofek picked up 1 strikeout in the first on the leadoff batter, Maddie Tan. Looking for her second of the day here. That's high for ball 2. 2-2 count for Pereira. And here's the 2-2 pitch. Pereira whacks that one to right field, and it drops just foul. Pereira able to hang back on the breaking ball, but just wasn't able to catch up enough. Looked like she wasn't planning on swinging at first. Thought she saw a piece of cheddar and couldn't line it up. 2-2 count on Pereira. Here's the pitch, and Pereira fouls that off towards the Cougars' dugout again. So Kaylee Pereira fighting to stay alive in her first at-bat of the day. It's a 2-2 count on the left fielder. Snyder's still sitting at first base. Hofek deals low and in for ball 3. Makes it a full count on Pereira. Pereira 1 hit on the day already in game 1. Looking to make it a second or at least get on base. As she hits, grounds that foul. So she'll still stay alive. 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Hofek deals. That's low. Ball 4. A battle for Kaylee Pereira, and she draws the walk after 9 pitches. Sets up runners at first and second. No outs for North Park, as here's a mound visit out for Morgan Hofek. And Hofek, she's been solid on the mound so far today, giving up 1 hit. But a hit and then a walk, putting runners on the bags with no outs for North Park is not what the Cougars want to see to start off the top of the second. The Vikings looking to jump back to get back on the board. Not let the Cougars get away too far. as that's it for that visit out to Hofek. Up to the plate now for North Park is Katie Patton, the backstop. Patton coming into the day hitting .256. Hofek deals. Patton shows bunt. He gets tagged for the strike. Breaking ball from Hofek catches Patton on the bunt attempt. 0-1 count now. Patton showing bunt again. Now she'll pull back, and she'll take that outside for ball one. One count. Runners at first and second, no outs for Patton. Hofek winds and deals. And that's popped foul for the out. And could have been a double play. No one from the Cougars covering second. Snyder got caught out, but plenty of time to get back with no one covering the bag. That is a rare kind of bunt from Patton. Maybe a foot up in the air off the bat. Lucero just able to reach out and grab it. And that's driven to short. There's one. Over to first. Not going to make it in time for the double play. But it's a quick ground out for Celissa Garcia. Hard grounder right to short. The Cougars make quick work of it. So it stays as runners at first and second. But now with two outs, Hofek almost able to work herself out of a two-runner on, no-out jam. First pitch strike to Sapolu. That pitch goes for a ball. 1-1 count now on the center fielder. One ball, one strike. Runners at first and second. Sapolu grounds that to second. Campos can't cover it. Coming home is Pereira, and she is just in time. Throw just a little bit late to Lucero. And North Park gets on the board. It's an RBI single for Sapolu. Makes it a 3-1 ball game. North Park getting their first damage of game number 2 done. Maddie Tan back up to the plate for the second time today. Struck out swinging her first time up. And she'll take that first pitch low for a ball. Now Tan showing bunt. And she slowly pulls back before taking that right down the middle for a strike. Hofek winning a battle of mind games on that pitch. Makes it a 1-1 count now. North Park trying to add on to the damage they've already done this inning. Hofek looking to get the last out as that runs inside for a ball. 2-1 count now. Hofek winds, deals, and that's grounded down the first baseline, fielded right on the bag by Lorenas. Tan couldn't have hit it to a much worse spot, and that does it. The Vikings score 1, Strand 2. In the top of the second, Cougars still lead by 2. It's 3-1 Concordia, and we'll come back to the Cougars back up at the plate in the bottom of the second in just a moment. for North Park. Ashley Schroll stepping up to the plate for the Cougars. As Schroll takes that first pitch on the inside bottom corner for a strike. Schroll coming to the day hitting .400 on the year. So 1 count on Schroll as Lafnier deals. Schroll soft ground to the third, fielded by Keene over to first for out number 1. Quick work of Schroll. And with 1 out, Emily Garcia steps up to the plate for the second time today.
Emily Garcia.
Garcia reached base after getting hit by a pitch her first time up at the plate. Looking to get back on base. And she immediately swings, grounds that over to third. And it is another quick ground out for the Cougars. And 3 pitches, 2 outs for Lafnier. And after a rough first inning for the pitcher, she is cooking through the Cougars in inning number 2. Gang up to the plate now and takes that first pitch on the inside edge for a strike. Gang takes that pitch low for a ball, 1-1 count. Gang reached base on a 5-pitch walk her first time up at the plate. And here's the 1-1 pitch. Gang grounds that foul. Got out ahead of it. 1-2 count now. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And Gang right to short. Lorenz over. Can't get it to first in time. A perfectly placed bloop grounder from Jess Gang. And it's a base hit for the left fielder. Cougars get a man on with 2 outs.
Now batting for the Cougars, number 30, Maya Lorenis.
Lorenis up to the plate for the second time today. She also drew a walk her first time at the plate. As she takes first pitch for a ball. That was actually the first walk that Lorenis has drawn all season. And that's not to say she has struggled on the season. Lorenis having a higher batting average than any Cougar coming into the day at .519, which is exactly her on-base percentage. .519 coming into today. So she finally adds a walk to that resume, as well as all the hitting. Swings and fouls that off, makes it a 1-1 count. Lafnier deals outside for ball 2. Gang nearly gets caught off the bag. Two-one count now. Lafnier deals, and that is popped up to short. Lorenz settles under it to make the play. And the Cougars strand a man on first. And the Vikings hold Concordia scoreless to keep that deficit at 2. We'll head to the top of the third. Concordia leads 3-1. Vikings coming back up to the plate in just a moment. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. And as the Cougars take back to the field, it's a new face on the mound for Concordia. Megan Boska into the game, replacing Morgan Hofek. Boska, her 8th appearance of the year. She's pitched 12 1/3 innings, given up 12 earned runs through those innings as she comes in the top of the 3rd to take on Bella Froworth. Froworth reached base on an error in left field her last time up at the plate. And she'll take that first pitch high for ball 1. As Boska deals that second pitch, and that's driven foul down the 3rd baseline. Froworth making solid contact. We're getting way out ahead of it. Froworth batting just under 300 at 297 coming into the day. As Boska deals, and Froworth again gets out ahead of it. Boska dealing a breaking ball that time, and Froworth gets caught by the off speed. So 1-2 count on back-to-back foul balls for the designated hitter. As Boska winds, deals, Froworth pops that up towards short. Santos is there to make the catch, and that's out number 1 on the short pop-up. Froworth jogs back to the dugout, grabs her bat, and high-fives the batter. Now up to the plate for North Park, Kayla Lorenz. Lorenz grounded out to short her last time up at the plate in inning number 1. As Boska deals on the outside edge for strike number 1. A 1 count, 1 out, no man on for Lorenz. And that's a grounder to second. Campos can't field it. That's into center field for a base hit. Morris tosses it back in, and North Park has their first base runner of the inning, a base hit for Kayla Lorenz.
Now batting number 7, Catherine Keene.
So Catherine Keene steps back up to the plate with a runner on. Grounded out short with a runner on 3rd her last time up at the plate. Now she has a runner on 1st, but only 1 out this time. Boska deals. That's in the dirt for a ball. Lorenz able to get back to the base in time. One 1-0 count on Keene. Boska deals. That time she catches the zone for strike 1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 runner on over at first base. And Keene pops that towards second. Campos running, and she makes the play. Over the shoulder play, running into the outfield by Campos. And that's out number 2. Heads up play on the base paths from Lorenz to get back to first base in time. And so a nice defensive play from Alyssa Campos makes it 2 outs, and Sydney Snyder stepping up to the plate with a runner on 1st and no room for error. And that's grounded foul past the 3rd baseline. Snyder, a line drive single into right her first time up at the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's fouled back again. Snyder coming out swinging. That results in an 0-2 count in her second at-bat of the day. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's grounded over to short. Santos fields over to first for out number 3. Cougars allow a base runner, but make quick work of the other 3 in the top of the 3rd. They still lead by 2. It's 3-1 Concordia They're coming back up to the plate in just a minute here on the Cougar Sports Network. Joe Anderson leading off the bottom of the third for the Cougars. Anderson, a bloop single to right, her first time up at the plate, drove in a run. She's looking to add on her day in the bottom of the third. Maya Lafnier back out on the mound for North Park, and the Vikings have a lot of longevity from their pitchers. That's popped up foul, and the play is made by Celissa Garcia for out number 1. One pitch, one out again for Lafnier. Marissa Santos up to the plate now for Concordia. Reached base on an error by the shortstop Lorenz, her first time up at the plate. And she takes that first pitch in the zone for a strike. And in that first game, North Park only having to use one pitcher, Eden Baker. And Baker went 7 innings, no earned runs, only gave up 2 hits. Did walk 7 batters, but the Vikings only using one pitcher gives them some versatility with the pitchers they have left to use here in Game 2. They continue to leave Lafnier out on the mound. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's popped up over and foul. One-two count on Santos. A ball, 1, 2 strikes, 1 out. Lafnier deals. That's high for ball 2. Two-two pitch. Down low for ball 3. Full count on Arissa Santos. 3-2 pitch. And Santos lets that in the right field. That will get to the wall. Santos rounding first, going for second, in with a double. Santos, her first hit of the day, reaching base for the second time this game, and the Cougars, with 1 out, have a runner in scoring position for Alyssa Campos.
Now batting for the Cougars, number 1, Alyssa Campos.
Campos flew out to center fielder last time at the plate, drove in a run on the sac fly. Lafnier deals high for ball 1. One-0 count on Campos. Here's the pitch. Well inside, and that gets all the way to the backstop. Santos makes her way to third. That makes it a 2-0 count and a runner on third now for the Cougars. Concordia looking to add on to their run total. As here's a 2-0 pitch. And Campos gets out ahead of it, driven down the third baseline. Makes it a 2-1 count. Two balls, 1 strike on Campos. Lafnier deals. And that's fouled back. Off glove and helmet of Patton. Makes it a 2-2 count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Campos. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Campos lifts that to left field, caught by Pereira. Santos making her way home, in standing. And it's another sac fly for Campos, her second RBI of the day. And the Cougars extend their lead. It's 4-1 Concordia.
Now batting for the Cougars, number 17, Kyler Morris.
Kyler Morris up to the plate for the Cougars. Morris flew out to right center her last time at the plate, and she takes that first pitch down in the zone for a strike. A 1 pitch on the way. Morris shows bunt, misses. Makes it strike 2. Morris finding herself in a hole early on in this at-bat. Two strikes, no runners on for Concordia. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and Morris fouls that back, stays alive. (0-2) count. Lafnir winds and deals, and Morris fouls that one off. Still an 0-2 count. Morris fighting to stay alive at the plate. With 2 strikes and 2 outs, she'll step back into the box. Lafnir deals, and Morris drives that ball foul into the playground. So a 3rd straight foul ball. Morris stays alive. Still on an 0-2 count as well. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Lafnir goes high for ball 1. And at some point with Morris fouling those balls off, Lafnir, you have to fire a ball well outside of the zone. If you have 3 straight foul balls and you're still on an 0-2 count, you have the space to do so. Now Morris grounds that towards short. Lorenz fields over to first for out number 3. Nice play on the run from Lorenz. That gets North Park out of the inning. But the Cougars tack on another. It's 4-1 Concordia on the sac fly from Alyssa Campos. Cougars lead by 3. We'll be back in a minute. North Park coming back up to the plate in just a moment. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. It's the top of the 4th here at the Concordia softball field. Kaylee Pereira leading off the inning for the Vikings. Bosca deals. Pereira steps back, takes that ball inside, ball 1. (1-0) count on Pereira. Bosca deals. And Pereira fouls that out to Division Street. Nearly hits the Honda driving by for strike number 1. (1-1) count on Pereira. And that's down in the dirt for ball 2. (2-1) count now. Pereira drew a walk her last time up at the plate. A long 9-pitch walk as she grounds that past the pitcher's mound over to short. Santos over to first for out number 1. Santos seeing a lot of action at short so far today and handling all of it. Makes it 1 out with Katie Patton coming up to the plate for the Vikings. Patton had a 1-foot bunt pop-up her last time at the plate. One of the most unique and short plays you'll see in baseball. And she takes that first pitch in the zone for a strike. And softball as Patton grounds that down the first baseline for a base hit. That's into the corner. She's going for 2. They're going to send her for 3. Cougars finally get the ball back in. Patton stops at third. Schroll struggling to find the ball in right field. And it is a triple for Katie Patton. And with 1 out, North Park has a runner at third.
Now batting number 10, Celissa Garcia.
Celissa Garcia up to the plate for the Vikings. And Garcia grounds that foul down the third baseline. Anderson playing in over at third. As here's the 0-1 pitch from Boska. Swing and a miss from Garcia. Goes as a foul tip. Bouncing off of Lucero's helmet. Still an 0-2 count on the first baseman. Vikings need to do something with a runner at third. As Garcia takes that pitch outside for ball 1. North Park trailing by 3, closing in on the halfway point of this game. Got to start clawing back a couple of those runs when you can, especially when you have golden opportunities like that. Off-speed pitch outside for ball 2. So it's a 2-2 pitch on Garcia. Boska delivers. Garcia pops that foul. Stays as a 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out on Garcia. Patton still over at third. Boska steps back up to the mound. Now she'll wind and deal. And Garcia, hot shot to short. Santos can't field it. 1 run is in. And now Garcia going for second. Maybe a bit ambitious, and she dodges the tag. And it doesn't even look like Garcia was trying to dodge the tag. She slipped. One of her legs bending awkwardly. And now coach is out for a visit to a potentially injured Celissa Garcia, but it did keep her alive on the field. She is safe at second as she unintentionally dodges around the tag from Campos. But North Park, they get back on the board on what is an RBI double for Celissa Garcia. Makes it a 4-2 game. Garcia, hard grounder up the middle. Santos just couldn't field it cleanly. And Garcia able to be ambitious and make it into second. So while they check out on Garcia out on the field, we'll take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment for more Cougar softball. And welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Celissa Garcia headed out of the game with a leg injury after an awkward slide into second that probably a net negative for the first baseman, but it did help her dodge the tag, and she was into second safely, so it goes down as a double. Ariana Gutierrez replaces her as a pinch runner at second. So it's still a runner in scoring position. One out for North Park. Kayla Sapolu up to the plate for North Park, the junior out of Mililani, Hawaii, as she takes that first pitch low for a ball. And these Cougar teams, baseball taking on North Park on Monday, softball taking on North Park today. And one of the things that I've kind of picked up on through the last couple games against North Park is they have a very unique recruiting zone in Hawaii, which is not the common recruiting target you see from a team based out of the Midwest. But North Park, 1 player from Hawaii on the softball team, 10 players from Hawaii on the baseball team. So North Park getting a lot of productive players, too, out of a very unique location. 1-2 count on Sapolu. And Sapolu grounds that to second, fielded over to first for the quick out. Gutierrez holds at third, so the ground out advances the runner. So it's a runner on third with 2 outs for Maddie Tan. Back up to the plate for the 3rd time today. Tan struck out swinging her first time at the plate, grounded out straight to first her 2nd time at the plate, and she shows bunt, pulls back, and takes that on the edge of the zone for strike 1. Oh, 1 count. Tan showing bunt again. She pulls back again and takes that right inside on the hip. Boska tags Tan, and it's runners at the corners with 2 outs for Bella Froworth.
Now batting number 5, Bella Froworth.
Froworth popped out to second her last time up at the plate. And there's time on the field. Cougar head coach Sarah O'Malley Fisher headed out to the mound to talk with Boska and check in with the dealing hand. Boska's dealt well since she came into the game in the 3rd inning. She's only given up 1 run, and that's here in the top of the 4th. But North Park still threatening with runners at the corners and 2 outs. O'Malley Fisher is headed out for a quick chat with her pitcher, as Boska is just 1 out away from getting out of the inning and holding the lead for the Cougars. But Froworth up to the plate. She's reached base once today on an error. Boska deals inside for ball 1. Everyone holds on the bases. 1-0 count on the designated player. Boska deals again, and that's grounded. A hot shot to third, over to first for out number 3. Quick reactions from Joe Anderson. And the Cougars get out of the runners at the corners jam and hold a 2-to-run lead. Boska bends but doesn't break, and 2 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Emily Lucero coming up to the plate for Concordia right after this. Head to the bottom of the 4th. Emily Lucero coming up to the plate for Concordia right after this. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Bottom of the fourth, Cougars lead by 2. Emmy Lucero coming up to the plate for Concordia Chicago. A new face on the field for North Park. For North Park, the 6'1" Dora Sayaki at first base now for the Vikings. Lucero grounded out to short her first time up at the plate. And she'll take the first pitch from Lafreniere high for ball 1. Lafreniere out for a 4th inning of work. As Lafreniere pumps that in for a strike. And this is a North Park team that doesn't like to use a lot of pitchers. Only 5 players have seen the mound on the season. And a lot of that's due to longevity. Lafreniere coming into today. 36 inning pitch as Lucero grounds that up the middle of the field for a base hit. Just past the diving glove of Kayla Lorenz. And that's a leadoff hit. In the bottom of the 4th, Cougars have a runner on for Ashley Schroll.
Now batting for the Cougars, number 26, Ashley Schroll.
Schroll grounded out to third her last time at the plate. Takes that first pitch high and out for ball 1. But, yeah, Maya Lafreniere, 7 appearances, 36 innings pitched coming into today. You look at those other players, Caitlin Meyer, 22 innings pitched on 6 appearances. Eden Baker, before her 7-inning performance today, 19 innings pitched. As Lafreniere snow cones that short grounder and turns and fires a second. Gets the out on the fielder's choice. Hold the front lead runner, Schroll safe at first. So Concordia now with 1 out, they'll still have a man at first for Emily Garcia. And Garcia takes that first pitch for a strike. And Garcia lifts that into left field for a base hit. That gets to the corner. Schroll rounding second, heads for third, in safely. Not even an attempt on the tag. And it's a double for Emily Garcia. And with 1 out, the Cougars have runners at second and third for Jessica Gang.
Now batting for the Cougars, number 12, Jess Gang.
Jess Gang reached base on a grounder up the middle her last time up at the plate. And she takes that first pitch on the outside edge for strike 1. 0-1 pitch. That's lifted into right field. Snyder settles under it for the out. Schroll headed home in safely. And it's a sac fly for Gang. The Cougars tack on another. It's 5-2 Concordia. And they still have a runner at third with 2 outs.
Now batting for the Cougars, number 30, Maya Lorenis.
Maya Lorenis up to the plate now for Concordia. Lorenis still leading the team in batting average. Takes that first pitch on the inside edge for strike 1. Lorenis popped out to short her last time up at the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Lorenis checks her swing, but it's caught, catches the outside edge for strike 2. So Lorenis finds herself in a hole early. Lafreniere trying to get out of another inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And Lorenis, another pop-up over to short. Lorenz settling under it. Makes the play for out number 3. Lafreniere gets out with minimal damage again, but it is still damage. The Cougars get that 3-run lead back. It's 5-2 Concordia. As we head through the 4th inning, we head to the top of the 5th. North Park coming up to the plate right after this. Welcome back to River Forest. Concordia Chicago leads 5-2 over the visiting North Park Vikings. Kayla Lorenz up to the plate for North Park, and she takes that first pitch in for a strike. Megan Boska back out on the mound for another inning of work for the Cougars. She goes out low and out for ball one. Lorenz, a hard single up the middle of the field, her last time up at the plate. Boska deals, Lorenz takes that inside again for a 1-2 count. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and Lorenz grounds that to third. Anderson can't field it. Santos does, but she can't get it to first in time. It's an infield single for Kayla Lorenz. A perfectly placed, perfectly powered, soft grounder. That splits third and short. So the runner on first and no outs, Catherine Keene steps up to the plate for the Vikings. Keene flew out to right field her last time at the plate. Hot shot to Anderson. There's one at second. Won't get Keene at first. But the Cougars are able to get the lead runner, Joe Anderson, again. Quick reactions while playing up close to home plate. And that's out number one. Sydney Snyder up to the plate now. Snyder lifts that into left field for a base hit. That'll get to the wall. Keene, she'll round third and head home. Snyder in safely at second. And it's an RBI double for Sydney Snyder. The Vikings tack on another run. They're back within two with one out, and they've still got a runner in scoring position. Snyder, her second hit of the day, is now we get a mound visit. The Cougars infield comes together for a meeting with Megan Boska. Cougars infield spreads back out. Kaylee Pereira coming up to the plate for North Park. Pereira grounded out to short her last time up at the plate. One out, runner at second for Pereira. Boska deals in an ugly swing from Pereira. Couldn't stop herself at the low breaking ball. That makes it strike one on the left fielder. Boska deals again. That's outside for ball one. One ball, one strike, one out, one runner on, but they're at second base. Boska deals. That's outside again for ball two. Two-one pitch on the way. Pereira takes that outside, ball three, and it's a 3-1 count with a runner on second and just one out for North Park. Boska winds, deals, and that's ball four low. Pereira draws her second walk of the day. And we're going to get a pitching change for the Cougars. O'Malley Fisher heads to the umpire to make the lineup change. Megan Boska's day on the mound is done. Alyssa Lopez coming into the game to replace her. We'll get that action on the Cougar Sports Network in just a minute. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Alyssa Lopez out on the mound now for the Cougars. Runners at first and second, one out for North Park as Lopez fires in a first pitch strike. 0-1 count now. Patton tripled to right her last time up at the play, ended up scoring. And that is a swing and a miss. Lopez gets her looking silly, and it's an 0-2 count now. The ball's 2 strikes, 1 out. That's high for ball 1. 1-2 count. Runners at first and second, ready to go. Lopez winds, deals. That's well outside for ball 2. Two count. Lopez fires, swing and a miss, strike 3. Lopez gets Patton swinging. She heads back to the dugout. That makes it 2 outs. And with 2 runners on and only 1 out to go, Dora Sayaki steps up to the plate for the first time today. And Sayaki lifts that to left field gang, settles under it for out number 3. North Park strands another pair of runners. And the Cougars make a great pitching change. Lopez comes in and shuts down the Vikings. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Cougars still leading by 2. And they're going to look for more with Joe Anderson leading off in just a moment. Welcome back to River Forest. Joe Anderson leading off the bottom of the 5th for Concordia Chicago. Anderson fouled out to the near side dugout her last time up at the plate. She takes that pitch low for ball 1. And on the Cougars, what they're doing well so far today is hitting in the clutch. They've only stranded 4 runners on base, and through 5 hits, they've produced 5 runs. As Anderson takes that pitch in for a strike. You look over at North Park side, they have 7 hits. They're out hitting the Cougars, but they haven't driven enough of them in. They've stranded 8 on base, and that's led to them trailing by 2. As Anderson lines out straight to Catherine Keene, perfectly placed at third base. A tough break for the third baseman as she heads back to the dugout. And that's out number 1. Arissa Santos steps up to the plate for the Cougars. Santos doubled to right field her last time up to bat. And she'll take that well outside for ball 1. One 0 pitch. Catches the inside corner. Strike 1. 1-1 count. And here's the 1-1 pitch. High ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. No runners on for Concordia. Lafnir deals. That catches the inside corner again. Strike 2. Santos, and an even count now. 2-2 pitch on the way from Lafnir. That's lifted to right field again. That's going to drop beyond the wall. Home run for Arissa Santos. Put it up and it kept on going. And the Cougars and Arissa Santos tack on another. Santos, her second home run of the season. And Concordia Chicago back up by 3 on the bomb. Third straight inning, the Cougars have scored at least 1 run. And now Alyssa Campos stepping up to the plate for the Cougars. Takes that first pitch high for ball 1.
Number 1, Alyssa Campos.
1-0 count on Campos. North Park, they'll be committed to getting through this game with Lafnir as Campos takes that pitch in for ball 2. 2-0 pitch, low and in for ball 3. (3-0) count. And Campos lifts that to center field. Sapolo tracking, can't get it. It's off the wall. Rolls over halfway back to the infield before she gets it in. And Campos follows up the homer with a double. And the Cougars already have a runner back in scoring position with just 1 out. And that's going to bring our first pitching change of the day for the Vikings. Lafnir's day is done after 4 1/3. Into the game now for North Park is number 0. It's Raquel Hare, a freshman out of Oakley, California, getting her chance to deal for North Park.
Number 0, Raquel Hare.
Cougars have a runner on second. We'll take a break while Hare gets warmed up, and we'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Raquel Hare is all warmed up and ready to go as Mikyler Morris steps up to the plate for the Cougs. Runner on second, 1 out for Morris as she takes that inside for ball 1. Hare on the season has 4 appearances. She's pitched 6 2/3 through those 4 appearances, giving up 5 earned runs, has a 5.25 ERA as Morris grounds that to short. It's another error for Lorenz. Campos reaches third safely. McMorris safe at first. And the Cougars, with 1 out and runners at the corners, have Emmy Lucero stepping up to the plate.
Now batting for the Cougars, number 9, Emmy Lucero.
pitch in for a strike. Morris getting scored a hit on that last play. 0-1 count on Lucero. Lucero singled her last time up at the plate. Looking to tack on some more. The prime RBI spot as she goes swinging way out ahead of the off-speed pitch for strike 2. Hare trying to work her way out of a jam. Deals the 0-2, high for ball 1. One-two count. Hare winds, deals. That's popped back foul over the backstop. One-two count on Lucero. Hare winds, deals, and Lucero lifts that to left center, and that'll get down at the base of the wall. One run scores. Morris rounding third. She's headed home. No run pitch in. North Park botches the throwdown, and it's an RBI double for Emmy Lucero. The Cougars piling them on. It's 8-3 Concordia.
Now batting for the Cougars, number 26, Ashley Schroll.
Runner on second, one out for Ashley Schroll as that pitch is in the dirt for a ball. Cougars already put up 3 runs this inning, looking for more. Hare winds, deals well inside for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes on Schroll. Schroll's 0 for 2 on the day, looking to pick up her first hit as she fouls that back over the backstop, nearly hitting the GMC that's parked on Division Street. Makes it a 2-1 count for Schroll. Runner on second, one out. Schroll standing in with a 2-1 count. Hare gets to the call. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Gets Schroll swinging at a pitch way outside. And that makes it a 2-2 count. Two balls, 2 strikes for the right fielder. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. The high heat gets Schroll going, and that's out number 2. First out of the inning for Raquel Hare.
Now batting for the Cougars, number 22, Emily Garcia.
Now Emily Garcia steps up to the plate. Garcia doubled to left. Her last time up at the plate. Ended up getting stranded at third. Stands in with a 1-0 count now. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Pops that towards left field. Pereira charging, makes the play. For out number 3, but the Cougars continue to add on to their day. Highlighted by an Arissa Santos home run. The left field. Concordia tacks on 3. It's 8-3 Cougars as we head to the top of the 6th. Kayla Sapolu coming up to the plate next for North Park. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. We're in the top of the sixth. Cougars lead by 5. It's 8-3 Concordia. Kayla Sapolu coming up to the plate for the Vikings, and she shows bunt straight away. Sapolu has a single and a ground out today, 1 for 2. And she takes that first pitch high for a ball. Lopez back out on the mound for another inning of work for Concordia. Sapolu fouls that back for strike 1. 1-1 count now on the center fielder. Sapolu shows bunt. Lopez deals well inside for ball 2. 2-1 count now. Lopez winds, fires. That's inside again for ball 3. 3-1 count now. Sapolu only a 200 on base percentage coming into the day. 8 strikeouts, only 2 walks drawn. There's a third walk drawn of her season. She heads the first on a 5-pitch walk after a high ball there. That puts a runner on with no outs for North Park. Maddie Tan stepping up to the plate for the Vikings with a runner on. Tan, she's been having a great season for North Park. 2 hits in the first game today, coming into the day with a .517 batting average and a .517 slugging percentage. As she has not had actually a single extra base hit all year, but the .667 on base percentage, on base machine. And she's only gotten on base once today after getting hit by a pitch. Takes that pitch on the edge of the zone for strike 1. 1-1 count now. In Tan, one of the 2 players on this North Park roster who's been hit by a pitch 6 times. No one else has been hit by a pitch more than once. As Tan grounds that to short, fielded by Santos. Can't get it to second in time. Can't get it to first in time. The move to get out the lead runner does not pay off for the Cougars. Sapolu beats the throw. And that makes it runners at first and second for North Park. Here's the pitch, fouled back by Froworth, who's put on the sweatshirt now. Getting a little chillier here in River Forest as the sun continues to set. 0-1 count on Froworth after the foul ball. Froworth 0 for 3 on the day, reached base on an error in the first inning. As she takes that pitch high for a ball. 1-1 count now. Lopez gets the call, winds, fires. That's high again, ball 2. Two-one count. Lopez winds, fires, Froworth bloops that into right field for a base hit. Sapolu getting lost on the base paths. Thought she heard the call that it was caught. Started doubling back to second, then has to hustle over to first, to third base in time. That advances every runner one base on the bloop single for Froworth, her first hit of the day. And that makes it the bases loaded with no outs. Prime opportunity for North Park. Now visit out to Alyssa Lopez. And she has the heart of the order. Kayla Lorenz, Catherine Keene, Sydney Snyder. The next 3 up for North Park. Bases loaded, still no outs. A great opportunity for the Vikings to jump back into this game right here for Kayla Lorenz, who's 2 for 3 on the day. Both of her last at-bats have been a pair of singles. And Lorenz now stands in. The base is loaded and no outs. Lopez fires high, ball 1. Best scoring opportunity that the Vikings have had all day. And Lopez fires again. And that's popped up towards right field. Schroll charging, makes the play. Everyone holds station. And the throw home, getting past the catcher. Great job of covering that off by Lopez, prevents Sapolu from going home. And that is a perfect result for Lopez. 2 pitches and a pop out to right that's short enough to keep the runners from tagging up. Catherine Keene up to the plate now for North Park. And she takes that pitch high for a ball. 1-0 count on Keene. Keene showing bunt. Lopez fires. Keene pops that foul. 1-1 count now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, but it's the bases loaded for North Park. And if they want a chance to climb back into this one, you got to capitalize on the bases loaded, no outs opportunity. Lopez fires. That's low for ball 2. 2-1 count. Keene still showing bunt. Now she pulls back. Lopez fires. Keene pops that up towards the Cougars' dugout. Just lands where all the gear is. Makes it a 2-2 count. Keene showing bunt again. 2-2 pitch on the way from Alyssa Lopez. And that's blooped into right field for a base hit. That is going to roll to the wall. Run is in. Another is in. Froworth stops at third. It's an RBI double for Catherine Keene. She drives in too. And the Vikings bring it back to a 3-run deficit. It's 5-8. Concordia. And now we're going to get a pitching change for the Cougars. O'Malley Fisher makes the lineup change with the umpire. Coming into the game for Concordia is Eden Pufall. Lopez's day is done. Pufall, she'll get warmed up on the mound. North Park, they'll have a runner on second and third, still with just 1 out. When we come back right after this break. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. It's the top of the 6th. Cougars lead by 3, but North Park is still knocking at the door. They have runners on second and third with 1 out. After the RBI double from Catherine Keene, Snyder takes that pitch on the edge of his zone for a strike. Out on the mound for the Cougars, it's Eden Pufall. Pufall coming into today has 5 appearances, 8 1/3 innings pitched, only giving up 3 earned runs. As Snyder fouls that off over Division Street into Priori Park. Makes it an 0-2 count. The ball's 2 strikes on Snyder. Not the start she wants to have this at bat. Vikings really want to bring in a few more runs on a golden opportunity. Pufall deal, swing and a miss. Gets Snyder down on 3. And after looking silly, Snyder heads back to the dugout. Now with 2 outs up to the plate comes Kaylee Pereira. Pereira has a pair of walks drawn today. That pitch catches the outside edge. Strike 1. Frawworth at third, Keene at second. Pereira takes that high for ball 1. North Park, they loaded the bases with no outs, trailing by 5. They've only brought in 2. They would love to bring in more. It's the first inning this game that they've brought in more than 1 run. Pufall deals. That's off the outside edge for ball 2. It's Patton on deck for the Vikings. Pereira is the tying run at home. Pufall gets the call. Now she'll wind and fire. That's high, ball 3. Pereira's game is all about plate discipline. He's drawn 5 walks on the season, has a .478 on base percentage. She's only struck out 3 times. Here's a 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss. So that brings it to a full count. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. Pereira stands in with a full count. Here's the pitch. That's a grounder to the pitcher, Pufall. Can she get it to first in time? She can! Eden Pufall gets out of a jam. And the Cougars only surrender 2. They still lead by 3. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, it's Concordia 8, North Park 5. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network, where the Cougars leading by 3. Jess Gang stepping up to the plate for Concordia. Raquel Hare back out on the mound for another inning of work for North Park. Cougars, they hold this lead as their last inning at bat, as Hare fires that in for a strike. 0-1 pitch on the way. And Gang, an awkward grounder that just dribbles to Hare, and that might even have been off the literal end of the bat. as it made nearly a 90-degree turn after landing down in the dirt. It didn't even bounce as a grounder, just dribbled to the pitcher's mound. Already 1 out on the inning. As Hare fires that outside of the zone for a ball. Maya Lorenas up to the plate for the Cougars. Lorenas still hitless today. 0 for 2 in this game with a walk. As she takes that low for ball 2. Two-0 count. Hare kicks, fires, and that catches the edge for a strike. 2-1 count on Lorenas. Make it a 3-1. A good hold from Lorenas on the high off-speed pitch. Hare winds, fires. That's a soft grounder over to short. Lorenz fields, fires to first. And the long reach of Sayaki brings it in for out number 2. Now we have a pinch hitter for the Cougars coming up next, replacing Joe Anderson. Is number 2, Callie Tierney. Tierney on the season in 11 at-bats is hitting .455. 5 hits in those 11 at-bats as she steps up to the plate with no runners on and 2 outs. Hell fires, and Tierney immediately grounds it to second, and Tan misjudges the bounce. Tierney safe at first. So Arissa Santos stepped up to the plate now for the Cougars. And Santos takes that inside for a ball. Santos launched a bomb to right center field her last time up at the plate. And she takes that second pitch inside for another ball. Here's a 2-0 pitch. That's inside on the edge for a strike. 2-1 count. Two 2-1 pitch on the way. That's low for ball 3. Three balls, 1 strike, runner at first with 2 outs. Hale deals, that's in the dirt for ball 4. So the runners on first and second and 2 outs. Alyssa Campos up to the plate. Campos doubled to center field her last time up today. She has been productive every at-bat she's had today. A pair of sac flies, both of those bringing in a run, and then a double straight away to center. Hale deals, and Campos lifts that to left field. Play is made by Pereira, so that ends the inning. Hale, no damage allowed. Only a second time today that the Vikings have pulled that off. So that ends the bottom of the 6th. And we'll head to the last chance for the Vikings in the top of the 7th. They trail by 3. It's Patton, Sayaki, and Sapolu coming up for North Park right after this break. Kira Trotvetter pinch hitting to lead off the inning for North Park, replacing Katie Patton. As Trotvetter takes that first pitch high for ball one. Trotvetter on the season, only one at bat, so didn't get a hit, 0 batting average, her second at bat of the season. Stands in with a 1-0 count. And takes that on the inside edge for strike one. One count on Trotvetter. It's Sayaki on deck, Sapolu in the hole. Last three chances for North Park. That's a hot shot caught by Poofall. Continues to show off the defense on the mound. Trotvetter set it right back where it came, and Poofall is there to make the play. That's out number one. 2 to go for the Vikings. Sayaki up to the plate for North Park. Hard fly out to left field her last time up at the plate. Poofall deals low for ball one. One 0 count. Poofall fires. That's right in the zone. Strike one. It's now a 1-1 count on Sayaki. Poofall fires. And Sayaki swings at the inside pitch. Grounder to second, over to first. That's out. Number 2, and the Cougars are one away from taking victory in Game 2. Sapolu up to the plate. Last chance for North Park. Poofall fires right in the zone for strike one. Sapolu singled her first time up at the plate, grounded out her next, drew a walk last time. Got to get on base to keep the game alive. Shows bunt. Poofall fires, and that's lifted into right field for a base hit. Schroll can't get the throw in time. Nearly a force out at first with a hit to the outfield. But it's not in time, so it's a Polu, her second base hit of the day on the soft line drive. So Maddie Tan up to the plate, singled to short her last time up at the plate. Got to get it on base again to keep this game alive. And Tan fouls that down the first baseline for strike one. Tan 1 for 3 on the day. On deck is Bella Froworth. Froworth is the tying run, but the Cougars are just 1 out away from ending this game. Poofall gets the call. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's outside for ball one. One count on Tan. And that's a hard grounder up the middle for a base hit. Sapolu stops at second. Tan keeps this game going. Now it's runners and first and second with the tying run coming up to the plate in Bella Froworth.
Now batting number 5, Bella Froworth.
Froworth again on the season, batting under 300. She's 1 for 4 on the day with a bloop single her last time up at the plate. As she fouls that back off the backstop on the first swing. Strike one on Froworth. Now 2 away for Pufall. Froworth coming today, only hitting .297, only slugging .351, an on-base percentage of .422. Most of that coming from getting hit by a pitch. That's blooped to second base, and that does it. Alyssa Campos comes up and makes the play to end game number 2 of this doubleheader. The Cougars split it, winning game 2 8-5 as they power through this North Park lineup. In game 2, they win by 3. North Park can't come back enough at the end, just stranding too many runners on base. Ending their day with 12 runners stranded. They lose by 3 in game 2. They won by 6 in game 1. As that does it here in River Forest for today's softball doubleheader. Concordia wins 1. North Park wins 1. And the Cougars, as they take game 2 by 3. And it's the bats that showed out for the Cougars in game 2. The team compiling 10 hits. 5 extra base hits amongst those. A home run to right field from Arissa Santos. Santos also picking up a double on the day. Having a great game, too, against North Park. Now, for the Cougars, only got 2 hits in total in game 1. They rack up 10. And also get some timely performances from their pitching staff as well. Morgan Hofeck, 2 innings pitched, only giving up 1 run. Boska, 2 1/3, gives up 2 runs. Lopez, 1 inning pitch, gives up 2 runs. And Eden Pufall came into the game for the last 1 2/3 inning and was dealing. Through 21 pitches, gave up no runs. Only gave up 2 hits, picked up a strikeout as well. And the Cougars pitching staff clutching up when they need to. The Cougars hitting some great performances with runners in scoring position. The team batting .300 today with runners in scoring position. And anytime you hit .300 or above with runners in scoring position, where your batting average is at the very least not dropping, that's what you like to see. But that does it today in River Forest for the Cougars in their last non-conference tune-up of the season. They move on from here to take on St. Norbert's at home this Saturday at noon for the conference opener. They take on St. Norbert's in a double header starting at noon before they continue that conference opening weekend. Aurora on Sunday. But yeah, solid tune-up for North Park for Concordia Chicago in their last non-conference tune-up of the season. Can't struggle much more than you did in game 1, and you find a way to work through those issues, bounce back from it in game 2, and bring out some strong performances on offense and defense. North Park, they'll head on from here. We'll see what North Park heads on to in just a second. But the Cougars conference season coming up, a strong start to the season for the Cougars. They head into conference sitting at 7-8. Looking to get back, continue to stay on the right side of the win column against North Park, against St. Norbert this Saturday. And that'll do it here in River Forest. Concordia Chicago wins game 2, 8-5 over North Park. North Park took game 1 6-0. So huge thank you to everyone who made today's game possible on the broadcast. And don't go away just yet because we have a post-game interview with Emmy Lucero coming up right after this. What's up, Cougar Nation? I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network here after the last non-conference doubleheader of the season for Concordia softball. I'm here with Emmy Lucero from that softball team. And Emmy, your last non-conference tune-up before you get into conference play against North Park today, and you split it, winning one, dropping the first. 6-0 loss in the first game before taking game two, 8-3, and game one was a rough game, to say the least, for your team. Only 2 hits, gave up 6 runs early on. And you go on to game two, and the team very much bouncing back from that. 10 hits, you yourself 2 of those. A lot more timely hitting with runners in scoring position from your team, and very timely pitching changes and pitching performances out on the mound from your squad to get that lead and hold that lead against North Park in game two. So was there kind of a switch in the way you guys were playing, the vibes in the dugout? What kind of helped change that performance going into game two today?
Yeah, for sure. There was Coach O'Malley talked to us about staying calm and collected at the plate and look for our pitch and take until we got a strike. And in the dugout, we just try to stay up and keep our positive vibes as well, and just to be there for each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I already mentioned it's your last non-conference doubleheader of the season. You move on from here to conference. So with your last non-conference games of the season, you could say it's the last games that don't really matter. Of course, every game you want to win, but going on from here, those games do really matter for your conference season. So in that last non-conference game of the season, what's kind of the focus on with your team, that last chance to tune up before conference season?
We're really focusing on base hits and passing the bat. That's what we say, and just having great defense and offense and just picking each other up.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you head into that conference season now, you kick it off this weekend, Saturday against St. Norbert's Aurora. on Sunday. Both of those right at home here in River Forest. How's the team feeling as you guys head into the conference season after a pretty solid non-conference slate?
Oh, we're so excited. We're so excited. We're having great weather, and we just been like wanting to be on the field after all that snow. So we're pretty excited to get out there and play.
Absolutely. And like we mentioned, Concordia softball kicks off their conference season this Saturday against St. Norbert's right here in Concordia, Chicago at 12 o'clock, followed up by Aurora this Sunday at 12 o'clock. Both of those doubleheaders, you'll be able to catch that action right here on the Cougar Sports Network, and anything you miss at CUCougars.com. Emmy, thank you for coming on for this post-game interview, and thank you for joining us today on the Cougar Sports Network. Make sure to join us this Saturday for more Cougar softball, and as always, roll Cougs.
So much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.